Welcome to KMVC News. I'm Tema Olvera. Two hurricanes destroyed part of the United States in recent weeks, and some of the effects are felt in Marshall. KMVC's Laura Quiero reports on how students and their families have been affected by these storms.
On September 17, Hurricane Fiona was active between 6 and 8 hours in Puerto Rico Island. It left behind thousands of homes without power, cars afloat, fallen trees, and uninhabitable houses. Alone native Ran Figueroa explains how his family was able to stay safe during the hurricane.
During it, they had to go into the middle of the house where there isn't windows and stuff like that, so in case the windows broke, they wouldn't break in.
On the other hand, Hurricane Ian has had a huge impact in the Florida area. It has recorded a big amount of rain and catastrophic flooding to the central part of the state. Freshman Irlanda Santoro talks about her family experience while living in Miami.
Holy crap.
They tried to go to a grocery store and buy some food for the time of the hurricane passing, and they put some shuttles in all the windows and doors of the house.
President Biden says we could be talking about the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history, which hit Florida as a Category 4 hurricane. Laura Quiero, KMVC News.
Ian made land a second time south of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina as a Category 1 hurricane and is making its way up the eastern United States. Missouri Valley College hosted the first annual public lecture series in religion and society last week in the Eccleston-Mabee Theater. KMVC's Kivyon Long reports on the study of human religious expression.
The Missouri Valley College campus chaplain Nick Petroff hosted the first annual public lecture series in religion and society. Petroff says the annual public lecture series was designed to be at a public event.
We designed this event to be a public event where we can reach out to the community and say, come, see what we teach here, see what's happening on our campus. We have such a beautiful campus. We have great students.
Petroff says the public lecture series in religion and society was helpful to students.
And it will help students in many ways. First, the students will get to know the Marshall community. It is a religious event. The pastors who are present from many churches here.
Special guest speaker Reverend Roger Nishoku says he hopes his lecture is helpful to Missouri Valley students.
My hope is that it is helpful. I think anytime we have conversations with people beyond our own campus, and even more when I have a chance to come and interact with you all, I think that helps me, but I think it in some ways also helps you get a glimpse of what's happening outside the campus.
The annual public lecture series in religion and society held a small reception afterwards for anyone wanting to ask Reverend Nishoka any questions. Kivyon Long, KMVC News.
Petrov is looking forward to hosting the next installment of the public lecture series in religion and society next year. Every Halloween, families from around Saline County come to the downtown Marshall Square to trick-or-treat for candy from the local businesses. This year, the newly formed NBC Book Club decided to add their own twist. KMVC's Cody Hohenberger reports it's an unusual treat to go along with Halloween candy.
The NBC Book Club will be participating in the trick-or-treat on the square later in the month of October. As an added bonus to handing out candy, they're also accepting book donations to then donate back out to the children around the community. Public Relation and Outreach Specialist Margot Maribel says she hopes to receive enough book donations to give at least one book per child during the event.
So we're gonna have candy for older, like for teenagers. They also participate, and maybe some children that may not want a book. So we're gonna have some candy for that. But our hope is to be able to give a book to as many children as we can, and so that would be one book per children. So
Taisha Rhodes, a member of the NBC Book Club, says she is most excited to see the happy faces from the children when handing out books.
I'm excited to see the kids' faces. Like, some people may think, oh, kids want candy, but there are kids that are that love reading and that get excited about that. So I'm excited to see their faces. We have some really cute children's books. We have the ones about dinosaurs and things like that. So
Maribel says she has already received over 100 books and says the club hopes to donate between 400 and 500 books to children and teens on the square. Cody Hohenberger, KMVC News.
The number for the turnout of donations will be featured on a later edition of KMVC News. A toy company had the line in its jingle, "I don't want to grow up," but college often is the tool to move people into adulthood, and as KMVC's Pedro Santos reports, Missouri Valley College offered Peter Pan-like students a little adulting 101.
One of the most important things to have a successful college career is to have a healthy nutrition. Looking forward to fulfill your body with the necessary nutrients in order to have a better performance in practice and studying. On Thursday night, Shul Robinson gave a speech with some tips for the students to help them building a healthy diet, and also some tips on how to save money on a daily basis. Ms. Robinson has been doing this for the community for a long time.
For almost 23 years. I started off teaching being a SNAP educator. In Missouri, I was known as a food stamp educator. So for 19 years, I taught in public schools, food pantries, and housing authorities, basic nutrition.
Ms. Robson brought up some interesting details and pointed out her biggest concerns with food nutrition nowadays.
People not having access to food because they don't have transportation, or they're unable to go pick up groceries or to have groceries delivered. A lot of food insecurity. The other one is the cost of food going up right now. It's, on average, 16%. That's a lot on a family budget.
After the speech, a portfolio was given to each student containing information to help them building a nutritious diet inside their schedule. Pedro Santos, KMVC News.
Robinson is currently working for the University of Missouri, teaching cooking skills, food preservation, and fall prevention classes to senior citizens. The Missouri Valley football team wraps up its tour through the Heart of America Athletic Conference's North Division against the league's highest-ranked team, the Grandview Vikings. Grandview is the #2 team in the nation in the NAIA's latest poll and has only allowed 7 fourth-quarter points to teams not named Benedictine. Grandview set the tone early, covering 70 yards in 5 plays and 148 capped by a 35-yard pass, and that was the story of the game. Grandview threw 444 yards and 7 touchdowns. 5 different receivers hauled in touchdown passes. 6 players had catches for more than 20 yards. Even the defense added a touchdown as Grandview rolled 55-7. Missouri Valley heads into the conference bye week 3-3. Valley opens its slate of games against the South against Evangel on the 15th. The Missouri Valley soccer teams are in a stretch of the season when they play 5 of 6 games on the road, and because the Heart of America Athletic Conference is top-heavy, it's a stretch the Vikings have to do well during if the teams want to finish in the top 4 in the standings to secure a home postseason game. The men's team got a penalty kick goal from Sam Green in the first half of its game against Baker, and that held. Dusan Milosevic made a late PK save to preserve the lead. Baker was down 2 players in the second half because of a couple of red cards at the end of the first half. As the first half ended, William Penn controlled play through most of the match on October 1st and had an early lead, but Valley's Niall Rooney leveled the score, and Valley scored twice in the second half to top the Statesmen 3-1. The Vikings take first 2 of this stretch and sit at a 4-1, heading into a matinee on October 5th against Mount Mercy. The women's team also started strongly, winning its match against Baker. Ashley Arribas scored twice in an 8-minute span in the first half, and Miriam Aldabo scored late to secure the 4-2 win. The Vikings fired 27 shots with 13 of them on goal. And against William Penn, Iris Meyer's goal in the 87th minute was the game winner for the Vikings. It was the first of the year for her. Morgan Dirks' first half goal was the first for her as well. Valley is 3-1-1 heading into its match against Mount Mercy. Both games Wednesday on the Viking Sports Network. The Missouri Valley College women's volleyball team fell in straight sets against the best team in the Heart of America Athletic Conference's North Division. Mid-America Nazarene entered the match unbeaten on the year, swept the Vikings with scores of 25-19, 25-15, and 25-22. Valley steps out of conference play for a game against William Woods and is home for 2 on the 7th and 8th for matches against Graceland and Peru State. Missouri Valley College bullfighter Jackson Gregory put on a spectacle at the Viking Stampede. Gregory stared a bucking bull in the eyes before jumping right over it.
Like many rodeo contestants, Gregory says he sees his time in the arena as a profession. Gregory bullfights at rodeos to protect cowboys and performs in freestyle tournaments.
And I really love protection because I like making it look smooth. And then, freestyling helps you sell like the show. And that's really, kind of the cherry on top.
Gregory says bullfighting is more than running circles around a bull. There's a technique to ensure the rider, bullfighter, and the bull are safe.
My biggest injury is probably my ankle. This bull just moving around and didn't know what he was doing and just threw his body up against the fence on me and dislocated right then and there. And I have seen it go pretty bad. I've seen guys get knocked out, but it wasn't because of anybody else's fault. It wasn't even, livestock's fault because, they're just doing what they love, and that's just, they'll buck, and guy will fall off and, just get stepped on, and, the animal don't know, and we don't know, so.
Gregory also puts on a performance for the crowd. He worked with Greek, a rodeo clown from Alabama, to test a rocket ship headed for the moon and pull a fast one on the announcer at last week's rodeo.
I think he worked great with the crowd, and I had a good time talking with him and going over acts and stuff. And
Gregory's gear includes protective pads, cleats, and makeup.
Like football-wise, used to play, I put dashes on me, just put a helmet on, and you just feel like you're ready to go, and that's what makeup and everything makes me feel like.
Gregory and the men's rodeo team followed its win in the Viking Stampede with a first-place finish at the West Alabama. The women finished in 8th. And that's KMVC News for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Temo Olvera.